Hello everybody and welcome to another little mini Let's Build series. This is probably going to be a three-parter, guys, and there's quite a lot of stuff going on. Basically, guys, as you can see at this moment in time, I am currently building the leg assembly for an Imperial Knight. Basically, I decided, you know what, my orcs need a little bit of that extra firepower, a little bit of that extra killy stuff, and it's always nice to have some strength D power fist claws knocking around the battlefield so that you can give the smackdown to your enemies. So anyway, I don't want to build a looted knight, and I was damn well going to do it. So I actually built this when I was over at my good friend Chains's up in Bradford. He's from Sanguine Studios, and that's why obviously the environment is a little bit different, and the angle is, in truth, a little bit better. That's why that is, guys. But yeah, so I started off by just building the standard Imperial Knight leg assembly. I wasn't going to hack anything apart. I did think of taking some height off the legs to make it look a bit more squat, but then I thought, I really want this like it could go toe-to-toe with another Imperial Knight. So I decided to leave the legs the way they were. And pretty much from there, I started building the main torso of it. I had really big plans for this Imperial Knight. I had loads of ideas floating around in my head, like I wanted to have, like, you know, covered in cannons, covered in killy bits, covered in loads of glyphs and things, and I think I achieved that through this build process. Using the good old Humbrol liquid poly cement with the brush applicator there, just because it is the best glue, without a doubt. It's no joke the best. I don't use super glue on my models just because I prefer the more concrete, more solidified bond that you get using poly cement. But anyway, so with this actual build, I decided to leave certain parts of it off. Mainly because they were bits that would never be seen, they were bits that would never be used. There's like support struts on the underside of the armpit section of the Imperial Knight, and I just completely left those. What are we up to now? I think we are... we're still doing the basic leg assembly. I basically rocked up to Chains' house with a massive bucket load of bits that I'd hand-picked out the night before that I was going to use for this almighty beast of a conversion. So I had a massive arsenal of bits. In fact, can you... No, you can't even see. In fact, the bottom right-hand corner there, you can probably see that the little silver bit of my box. But anyway, so once I'd got the actual main hull of it assembled, what am I doing now? I said this was a great shot before, but it's not. It's a pain in the ass. Yes, I started on making the assembly for the arm. Now, I actually brought with me a pre-built, massive fuck-off power claw that I made a couple of weeks prior to this, because I was itching to do something with this Imperial Knight, and I promised Chains that we'd build these knights together. So, as you can see, there's the claw. The claw has been brought in. There's the claw. The claw. Yeah, so I used the chainsaw arm for the Imperial Knight. I turned it backwards on it. I cut the chainsaw part off, turned it backwards on itself so it had a bit more length, and then went about affixing the claw to it. What am I doing here? I don't know. Yes. I was actually... Because I thought to myself... the engine of this Imperial Knight just isn't big enough to power the weaponry that I want. I think it's supposed to be some kind of fusion reactor that the Mechanicus have. However, I had a rather large, chunky engine block left over from when I went to the Mantic Open Day, so I decided I wanted to use that bit as an engine, like this, stick this big old fuck-off V12 to the back of this Knight, just to make it look extra bulky and extra beastie. But you guys can kind of get an idea of how the claw is going to look as it is there. I used I can't remember what they are, they're like a wheel thing that you get on the tracks of like a regular like Airfix tank kit, but that just made it look a little bit too long, so I was umming and ahhing quite a bit on whether to not to shorten those down. This bit now, we're actually sorting out the actual faceplate for the Imperial Knight, and what I used the front of a Dreadnought, an Orc Dreadnought, an Orc Death Dread, in order to make that, and it was pretty much made for that Imperial Knight, really. It's just the perfect size. Here you can see a bit more of the V8, the massive fuck-off V12 at the back, and that huge claw. It is absolutely monstrous to behold. The claw actually fits on my stomper that I have on my desk, currently to the right of me. Not that you guys can see that, but anyway. But yeah, it actually fits on there really, really well. I might interchange it with the buzzsaw. I might magnetize it in some chance. Now this is me now trying to work out whether or not I needed to put like an extra like worky bit support for the claw, but in the end I ultimately decided to leave it because I just didn't have the angles that I wanted, and it would involve a lot of chopping and a lot of changing, a lot of cutting and stuff like that, and I just didn't have the time for that, nor did I have the patience, so I thought I'd leave it the way it is because it still looked pretty good. The next arm we're starting construction on the massive cannon that I wanted. So I used again the standard cannon assembly from the Imperial Knight, and then what I did, as you'll see in a second, I started gluing the barrels together from like Lehman Russes, different types. I was going to use the barrel from the the Imperial Knight, but I thought, I wanted it to look a bit chunkier. So what I did, I flattened it all down, as you can see here, with a file, and then what I did, I used a piece of plastic card just to go over the hole to give it a nice base plate to start sticking these barrels on. And once I shave those barrels down, you guys will see, there we go, just getting it all ready for the acceptance of the barrels. But yeah, so I wanted to go for like a 3-barrel, like mega blaster. I was going to have loads more, but then I decided not to. I thought, you know what, it's going to be cool if I just have the 3 cannons and then maybe have loads and loads of rockets. So that was an idea that I kind of had for the future. What am I doing now? There's an awful lot of bits doing off camera because, again, it's so hard to film stuff at this angle. But you can kind of see what I was going for here with the tri-barrel design. Sorry, guys, I do believe I have a little bit of a cold coming on. In the middle of summer, of all fucking places. What a load of shit. So here's my idea with the rocket. So I wanted to have like actual rockets stuck to, not the barrels, but like the actual worky part of the gun. So I used some ones from like the old killer cans and various death threads that I had lying around, because I don't tend to use rockets. And although the Knight can't have rockets in the game really, unless it's like one of the ones with the big rocket pod on the top, I thought it just looked cool nonetheless. Now we're just doing the exhausts. At this point, I started thinking about how I was going to do the exhausts, and at this moment in time, I just left them the way they were. However, as it is now, it has changed slightly. You guys will see that in the next video, in part 2 of this. I also wanted to have this is the thing, because with the Imperial Knights, I like to have it so that you can take them apart, so the torso comes away from the legs, the arms come away from the torso, and so on and so forth. However, I wanted the gun section to look like it had like a big ammo feeder, a big power feed going to it, but then that would completely eliminate me being able to disconnect the gun arm from the main torso. So I decided again I would leave that off just for the sake of easy transportation. Now, one of the things with this Imperial Knight, I felt that it didn't have enough guns. Yep, that's right. Not enough gun. So I decided I wanted to have like some kind of crazy fuck off turret like on the top, and luckily I had a small spare turret from the Conflict 47 stuff that I was doing, and the actual 2 Imperial Knight double shot battle cannon barrels, they fit perfectly into it, and it just made this absolutely ridiculous small turret on the top of it, which just looks really crazy. After I did that, it came the time to sort out how I was going to do the arm guards, because I wasn't going to use the Imperial Knight shoulder pads because it just didn't look orky enough. I needed a bit more of a rough forged, a bit more of a rough look to it. So I used some DAG patterns with bits of plasticard, and then I also used some bits I had left over from an Orc truck in order to create another kind of makeshift shoulder pad. I didn't want to have them like too covered, just because again I wanted it to look like the Imperial Knight had been stripped down by the Orcs. You know, maybe they defeated it and things, and they're going to use it for their own ends or something, but they've given their own spin on it. They thought, oh, those puny shoulder pads are no good, we can make our own shoulder pads and they'll be well orky. Next, I started working on the shin guard, and again I wanted to reciprocate the DAG pattern on the shoulder pad. So what I did, apparently I left the camera for a long time just recording, and then didn't check how long it would actually be recording for. So you guys are just gonna have to sit and watch this rather still picture at the moment of me just doing nothing, apart from the odd hand coming in every now and again. But yeah, so it was a case of, what was I doing? I was just making the shoulder pad assemblies the shin guard assembly to mirror the the left shoulder pad of the Imperial Knight, the looted one that I was doing. It was about this time that I was getting a little bit complacent with the scalpel blade, and if you've watched my previous Make Me Ramble video, guys, you'll know that I sliced my finger pretty much off with it, and I'll show you some delightful pictures of that juicy injury in just a few minutes. In fact, probably about a minute or two's time. I'll put them in at the end. For those guys that didn't see it on Facebook, it's truly a sight to behold. It's absolutely lovely. But like I say, thanks to Chains' quick first aid skills and the fact that A&E, where we were really quick, my finger is on the mend, so to speak. But yes, it was actually cutting out. I can't remember what I was doing. I was cutting out plastic card for. I think the face. Was it the face or the jaw? I can't remember. But anyway, this is where the camera actually about stopped recording. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the horrible injury that I sustained. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah! Oh, look at the blood! Oh, the blood! Ah! Blood from the blood god! Skulls from the skull throat! Ah! But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. This has been a really short, speed build video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, favourite, and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment in the doobly-doo down below. And in the next episode, you will see the actual final finished product of what I managed to achieve. So, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys again. See you now, and goodbye.